This is Robert Margolacci, the Mindshare Learning Report, Canada's Learning and Technology e-magazine. Happy Monday and welcome to This Week in Canadian EdTech. Very special edition today, unboxing ISTE Live 22 in New Orleans, June 26th to the 29th. And with me to do that is Justin Payeur, who's the General Manager of Matific in North America, one of our sponsors of the CanM EdTech Networking Reception Celebration of Excellence. It's our 24th one that we're hosting in partnership with ISTE. We're honored to be media partners. Justin, thank you for joining me this afternoon.
Robert, always a pleasure. It's been a long time. Thanks for the invite to this.
Pleasure. Well, I couldn't think of a better person to tap into, you being in Vancouver, me being in Toronto, and getting different perspectives on how we're going to tackle one of the first major conferences post-pandemic. It's been 3 years now. We've been to many locations, including San Antonio, Denver, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Atlanta, San Diego, and now New Orleans. It's the first for me. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, New Orleans would actually be the second time I've been there for business, but not for ISTE. So first time for ISTE as well. So that should be fun.
So it's not your first rodeo. So excellent. You'll be showing me the ropes for a change.
Maybe we'll see.
Well, I'm the rookie on this one. It's I've been to a number of in-person events in the last month or so. And it's so great to reconnect, as you were alluding to in our warm-up chat, that actually shake hands and say hello in person. There's something to be said about the human connection, right? It's that human connection, and it's those nuances that you can't read on Zoom or Teams or Google Meet. It's not an easy process to engage with people when you're and get a full experience, right? Which ISTE is, International Society for Technology and Education, for those who might not be familiar, is really actually the largest EdTech event in North America, if not the globe, that's specific to K-12. So I would say safely, it is the largest in the world when it comes to K-12 education, and the best.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a few years since I've been to an ISTE event. As you know, I kind of dabbed into my own entrepreneur life there for a few years after being in EdTech. Back now with Matific, just over a year. We're starting to ramp up our events. Thank you. We're starting to ramp up our events. And ISTE is actually kind of a first test. I'm going to go walk the floor, go shake some hands with some old connections, kind of check out the lay of the land. So I am looking forward to that. And of course, reconnecting with you and your team, long overdue. So I believe people are willing or are excited to reconnect again, right? COVID's been tough. And I think, as you said, the handshake, the face-to-face, the collaboration that happens in a first person or in-person approach to me has been missing. I'm looking really forward to it.
Awesome. And speaking of in-person and events, thank you for sponsoring our 24th CanM EdTech Celebration of Excellence Networking Reception. We've got a number of partners, including Matific, that tell us a little bit about Matific before I talk further about the CanM reception.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, Matific's been around for about 10 years, and they've been focusing on, taking a very rigorous pedagogy around math and gamifying it. So a lot of the online learning platforms now are focusing on the gamification, but they're building the other side after. So Matific has done it with an academic board of Harvard, folks and other leading institutions. Wow. So there's a lot of not learnings, but actually a lot of foundation around our approach to teaching via a game. In brackets here. So it focuses on K-6. So that's the foundational years. And
so you put the stake in the ground for K-6, and that's what you're going for.
Exactly.
Yeah. And one distinct differentiating factor that I admire about your company and a number of others that are from Australia, the pedagogy is considered to be world-class, particularly with the companies who emerge from there, and they do extremely well. There aren't many, but the respect that you garner because of the quality of education will impact says a lot. As you alluded to on your board, You have
Yeah.
uh, Harvard level caliber talent.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it is about really being dialed into world class, right?
Yeah. And that's one thing we are in terms of like, talk about what we support. North America is a market we're cracking. We're just early days in North America. But as a company, we've cracked a lot of massive markets around the world, from Brazil to the Department of Education in UAE. India is growing like
Wow.
crazy. Australia's been a market for us for many, many years, which is where our headquarters is at. And of course,
Right.
Israel, I believe we're at 70 or 75% of the education market uses Matific out there. So
In Israel.
yeah, so I mean, our product
Amazing.
is well used across the world. It's translated in the local languages, which I think is a huge beneficial part of our platform. And the curriculum alignment is something we keep working on, but I think we probably have one of the leading curriculum alignment platforms to support the worldwide,
Brilliant.
pedagogy around math. So in North America, we support over the Common Core in the U.S. as an example, Tex in Texas, the Common Core of California, and then we align
Yeah.
to a ton of textbooks. So I think we're ready to go, right? The rocket boosters are on. We just got to press start and go hard now.
Fantastic. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to pop up your website in a moment
Oh, great.
here
Yeah.
just to give folks a bit of a sneak peek at your platform. And what, so how many years for Matific?
I think coming up on 10 years has been in business.
Yeah.
So it's been around. It's obviously iterated on the platform. It's pretty impressive what they've built and all the under the hood stuff that happens behind the scenes that you don't necessarily see as a user. It's a pretty complex platform to do what we do. And one thing I think is kind of trending now, this is all this adaptive approach, personalized
Right.
learning,
Sure.
right? And that's something that we definitely hit really hard with our platform. We personalize the activities that we assign, that we auto assign to the students, right?
Hmm.
So that we can bring them up in areas that they need develop. And then for those that need more challenging stuff, we'll give them some more advanced content as they go through it. So I think that's a
Right.
pretty big
So
part to our
personalized,
platform.
adaptive.
Yeah.
I like the gamification aspect of it
Yeah.
because it mimics what kids are accustomed to, and it's real world, right? And
Well, it's digital. Like usually we'd use the physical blocks,
yeah,
like manipulative. That's a tough word for a French guy, but then we've taken that, we made a digital version. So on an iPad, you're still touching the screen and dragging stuff around. Super engaging, and all the student feedback we get when we do get
yeah,
evaluations has been very, very positive.
yeah. Talk to
Um,
me about the pedagogical piece around evaluation and assessment because that when the project based learning format and moving forward, at the end of the day, you're trying to save teachers time
mhm.
and augment the skills of kids that
Yeah.
kids have in mastering. And yeah, I see you got a parent experience too,
Yes,
which is
we have the
cool.
parent as well. So to go back to the teacher, I mean, the teacher
Yeah,
gets a bit of, it gets a lot of coaching from our platform as well. So there's reporting that's built
right.
in. They get nudges on who's, maybe lacking in certain areas. You can coach the kids one on one.
Yeah,
And then there's also a placement test that we can enable. It's on by
fantastic.
default, so that you can kind of see where the kids are at. And then we actually have an
Yeah,
automatic algorithm there that takes care of assigning stuff to them automatically.
fantastic. I see you're integrated with Clever as
Yeah,
well, who's
yeah.
also a sponsor of our Can-Am
Yeah, I
celebration.
hope to go chat with them when we're down there
Yeah,
in ISTE. Yeah, long overdue.
and of course you're well placed and award winning, which is fantastic. And you've got usage in the U.S.
Yeah.
and you got some case studies I see as well.
Yeah, it's a worldwide company, so there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of successes happening everywhere.
Right.
North America is obviously my challenge and
Yeah.
my kind of big focus on cracking this based on my previous experience in ed tech for 13, 14 years and understanding the lay of the land. I mean, instructional technologies a little bit different from my previous experiences, but it's very similar, right, in terms of solving challenges and helping
Right.
people with better outcomes for students. And I believe K to six is a big part of that foundation, especially math. I mean, if I had this and I was in K to six, maybe I'd be better at math today. But
Yeah, I love the notion of unlocking children's
yeah,
mathematics potential because we know what it's like if you don't
yeah,
make it relatable, and relatability is key. And it sounds
huge.
like you are covering all the bases when it comes to simplifying it and making it relatable for kids to learn
Yeah.
and thrive, because without a good math foundation, you fall behind very quickly uh,
Hmm.
academically.
It's a big challenge for sure. And we know that math is a big part of the future with the way technology is driving a lot of our jobs and all that, right? So I think
Yeah.
it's a big part of that. So it's online
Well,
learning, not going away.
I'm going to relate it to the F1 race that was out of
There
Montreal,
you
as you
go.
know, this past weekend, and I was fascinated by the analytics, the AI, the
Mm,
machine learning, highly technical.
yeah,
They talked about how the data is parsed, and there's 140 sensors on a car. The data goes back to the UK back office, right?
yeah,
Where they got
yeah.
a
Wow,
team, and they send the data back, analyze to optimize the car's performance. And they also get
amazing.
the data into
Yeah,
the pit. So just, number crunching is so important,
yeah,
and it's really critical to have companies like Matific, who are at the top of their game and getting our next generation primed and excited and engaged about math in new and innovative ways to
yeah,
go to the next level.
for sure.
So you arrive on the Sunday. We have our event on the Monday. You no doubt be looking to forge partnerships and connect with both industry and education leaders, companies like Clever, who are a partner, and
Yeah.
tell us who you're interested in meeting while you're there.
Yeah, so I kind of looked at the exhibitor list. Obviously, I want to keep an eye on our competition. There's a lot of good, healthy competition in the market. So it's kind
Yeah,
of interesting to see what they're doing, how they're pitching, how they're presenting.
right.
But more importantly, I think partnership wise for us, there's a lot of alignment with maybe like literacy reading type of platforms where, offering more than just one. So maybe some co-marketing opportunities there. As you mentioned, technology partnerships like a Clever, which we already do, but to grow that further.
Hmm.
I would even consider, resellers as well to grow our word of mouth and our
Excellent.
reach into the US market. So those are kind of the three high level buckets. I mean, I've got a list of about 20, 30 or so, but you never know. You start talking to somebody, introduce you to
Yeah,
more, and it's a cascading effect. So I'm there for all 3 days, full days. And that's one big part of me is to go and figure out what's there. And of course, VIP
excellent.
events like we're going to be, spending time together on, I think will be as well another networking event that will be huge. So definitely
Yeah,
looking forward to that. Yeah.
absolutely. And that's on a Tuesday evening from
Yeah.
5:30 to 7:30. If someone's interested in joining us, just ping me on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn, and we can get you an invite. Again, the conference is happening um, this coming Sunday through to the Wednesday in New Orleans. It's the first time ISTE Live is taking place since 2020, I guess. It's the last one would
2019.
have
Yeah.
been in Philadelphia that I attended. So
Mm.
I'm excited about it. It's going to have well over 10,000 delegates,
Yeah.
probably about 500 or so vendors, everyone from CIOs to superintendents and classroom teachers, and in between will be participating. And we were really excited about being a valued media partner in Canada. So there are
Mm.
about 100 Canadians going, industry and education in total,
Mm.
probably number about 150.
Wow.
That's just about 100 academics that we I know are attending and will be joining us. So if you're interested in attending, do ping me directly, and we'll get you an invite. On the international scene, Didact India is happening in September. The trade commissioner from Ontario had been speaking with me about opportunities there for companies, and we
Mm.
are announcing the Canadian EdTech Alliance at New Orleans.
Mm.
So that's something new. Did you know there's some 500 EdTechs in Canada that do
500
this?
now? Wow,
Yeah,
that's
there's
huge.
500.
Huh.
So we're kind of going to organize the group and have a more unified voice because there's so much going on. It's really important, and so
Huh.
we're excited to be announcing that. So we got a few things going on, and we'll be doing
Interesting.
podcasts like this with leaders and ed tech companies and education leaders, and to share the latest happenings and really give those who couldn't be there a sense that they have a sense of what is going on and some of the latest trends that are emerging. Are always something that we look to share and be mind share. Uh, the brand, and that's we have a report going out later this afternoon, our weekly top 10. So lots of activity. Really appreciate your time and joining us, Justin.
Yeah,
Uh,
pleasure, Robert. Thanks for the invite
yeah,
on your ISTE intro show and be on the podcast. And definitely look forward to again shaking hands for the first time in many years and
yeah, and
catching up.
perhaps
And
share a pop or two.
yeah, it's usually
And while
required,
we're
isn't it?
there,
It's ISTE.
yeah, exactly. That was Justin Payeur, the general manager of Matific North America. My name is Robert Marlacci, the Mindshare Learning Report. Be sure to check out www.mindsharelearning.com to get your latest issue. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.